Hello there, horror enthusiasts, and welcome to Chills and Thrills, the channel where we dive into spine-tingling tales that will leave you questioning every shadow. Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on the spine-chilling content we'll be bringing you. And now, let's get ready for tonight's tale, Screams in Silence. In a quiet village nestled deep within a forest, an unsettling atmosphere hung in the air like a heavy fog. As day surrendered to night, a peculiar phenomenon took hold of the villagers' lives, a distant, haunting chorus of screams that seemed to emerge from the very heart of the woods.
Storyblocks Audio.
These chilling cries would echo through the trees, a macabre lullaby that haunted their nights and left them trembling in their beds. Villagers spoke of it in hushed tones, gathered around fires as they shared tales that had been passed down through generations. Some believed it was the anguished cries of spirits trapped between worlds, yearning for relief. Others whispered that a terrible tragedy had befallen the village centuries ago, and its echoes were forever etched into the fabric of the land. But as much as they speculated, the true source of these ghostly wails remained a mystery. Fear and curiosity wrestled within them, and eventually, a group of the village's bravest souls decided to confront the enigma head-on. One moonless night, armed with flickering torches and a mixture of trepidation and determination, they set out into the depths of the woods. Guided by the haunting cries that seemed to pull at their very souls, they forged a path through the undergrowth, pushing deeper into the heart of the unknown.
Storyblocks Audio.
As they ventured further, woods seemed to close in around them, the trees forming a natural barrier that obscured the world they knew. Each footstep was met with an eerie echo, a reminder of the unsettling symphony that had brought them here.
Storyblocks
Hours passed, and just as doubt began to claw at their resolve, they stumbled upon an ancient trail, overgrown and nearly reclaimed by nature. Following its winding path, they eventually came upon a dilapidated stone wall, its stones worn smooth by time. The cries were strongest here, reverberating off the well's walls. Villagers gathered around it, peering down into its depths as if expecting to find answers hidden within its darkness. And there, in that moment of quiet anticipation, they felt it, the weight of the past, the weight of a tragedy long buried, rising to meet them. It was as if the well held the essence of all the pain, all the sorrow, all the terror that had once swept through the village. The realization dawned upon them, chilling their very bones. It uncovered not just a well, but a portal to the past, a portal to the heart-wrenching truth of screams in silence. The echoes that had tormented them for so long were the voices of those who had suffered, whose stories had been silenced by time. As they stood there, somber recognition settled over the group. The past could not be changed, but acknowledging it had brought them a strange sense of closure. With heavy hearts, turned away from the well, leaving the echoes of the past behind as they retraced their steps through the woods. The village awaited them, quiet and unchanged, yet the weight of what they had discovered lingered in the air. From that night onward, the screams and silence persisted, but the villagers listened with a newfound understanding. Haunting cries were no longer a source of fear, but a reminder of the stories that history had forgotten, the voices that had been swallowed by time's passing. And so, nestled within the embrace of the forest, the village continued its existence, connection to the past stronger than ever before. The echoes of screams and silence would forever remind them of the depths of human suffering and the resilience of the human spirit, even in the face of the unknown. The story will make you stay up at night, but just wait for cold-hearted hauntings. In the heart of the countryside stood an imposing mansion, its grandeur tainted by an aura of desolation. Locals had long whispered about the chilling history that clung to the mansion like a shroud, history steeped in tragedy and unrelenting despair. It was a place known as Grey Haven, a mansion that stood as a sentinel between the living and the dead. Legend spoke of a family once wealthy and influential, but plagued by an insatiable greed that corrupted their soul. The Sinclair family was known for their ruthless pursuit of power, their hearts as cold as the marble floors that graced their opulent home. As the years passed, their lust for riches led them to darker and more malevolent acts, exploited the vulnerable, showing no mercy to those who crossed their path. The mansion, a reflection of their cold hearts, began to take on a sinister atmosphere, a place where shadows danced in a perpetual twilight and the air grew icy even on the warmest day. But the sins of the Sinclair family did not go unnoticed by the spirits that lingered in the ethereal realm. As the last heir of the family line drew their final breath, a curse was cast upon Greyhaven, a curse that ensured the mansion would forever be a battleground between the living and the dead. From that point on, the mansion became a place of malevolent hauntings. The wind would carry eerie whispers that chilled the bones of anyone who dared to venture too close. Apparitions would manifest in the dim light, their faces contorted in anguish, their eyes filled with a torment that transcended. Despite the warnings and the tales that circulated among the villagers, there were those who sought to unravel the mysteries of Greyhaven. Paranormal investigators, thrill seekers, and skeptics alike stepped through the mansion's imposing doors, their hearts heavy with anticipation. As they entered, the temperature dropped dramatically, breaths turning into icy puffs in the air. Lights flickered, casting long, shifting shadows that seemed to dance with a life of their own. Footsteps echoed through empty corridors, yet no living soul could be seen.
Storyblocks Audio.
The investigators delved into the mansion's history, unearthing stories of betrayal, greed, and the unknown. With each discovery, the hauntings grew more intense. Phantom cries reverberated through the halls, as if the anguish of the past was demanding to be heard. In a grand ballroom frozen in time, a spectral waltz would occasionally play, the ethereal figures of the Sinclair family twirling in a macabre dance of eternal suffering. Cold fingers brushed against the skin of the living, leaving trails of frostbite that would linger long after they escaped the mansion's grip. One investigator, driven by a need to lay the souls to rest, delved into the family's history, piecing together the stories of their victims and the depths of their cruelty. Armed with this knowledge, they ventured into the mansion's heart, a room known as the Chamber of Echoes. In that room, the investigator confronted the tormented spirits, their faces twisted with a mixture of anguish and longing.
Storyblocks Audio.
With a voice that trembled, the investigator spoke of the family's deeds, of the lives they had destroyed, and the pain they had caused. And in that moment, the mansion trembled, as if the weight of the past was finally being acknowledged. The echoes of anguish grew louder, more intense, until they merged into a crescendo that seemed to shatter the very fabric of reality. Then, as suddenly as it began, the mansion fell silent. The cold retreated, the shadows withdrew, and the spirits of Greyhaven finally found their release. The mansion itself seemed to sigh, its imposing presence somehow softer, as if a burden had been lifted. Greyhaven, once a place of cold-hearted hauntings, was left to the living, a mansion that would forever bear the scars of its past. The stories would persist, of course, tales whispered around campfires, chilling those who dared to listen. But within the mansion's walls, there was a sense of peace, as if the tormented souls had finally found solace. And so, Greyhaven stood, a testament to the choices we make in life, and the echoes they leave behind, echoes that can, in the end, find redemption even in the darkest corners of existence. Remember to subscribe and stay tuned for more tales that will send shivers down your spine. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and never underestimate the power of the unknown.